Okay, again, thank you for having me. I think I would like to join those who commented earlier about the tax reform, which is exemplified now in the tax bills, the four tax bills that are before the National Assembly. We all agree that it's necessary for us to reform, and just the way it is giving relief to the private citizens of Nigeria, it's also giving relief to business. And I think that's why earlier on we made it clear that manufacturers stand fully behind the tax reform. Apart from the ease of doing business, there is the cost of doing business. And this is what directly relates to the tax reform. We've seen, and I think it's been said on this platform, that an average manufacturer in Nigeria pays between 60 to 120 different taxes, levies, and fees. In some cases, they can't even differentiate between what they are applying by different tiers of government, the federal, the state, and local governments, and quite importantly, non-state actors. So we are buffeted from so many angles. So when you have a reform that tries to streamline all of this and makes it definite about what you are expected to pay, even from the beginning of the year, it helps your planning. It helps predictability. You are able to make up your mind how to run your business and what to expect. I think that what has become very controversial is the VAT. And there are quite a number of reform that has taken place. And most comments have been about the rate of VAT, not taking a holistic view at the reform of VAT, which has tended to correct many abnormalities and made it important for us to have specific rates. When it was 7.5%, the effective VAT rate was much higher. But the critical one you have asked is the CIT. And I think that's the only area that one will be happy if the governors are able to rethink. Because the support of the governors is very critical, and I believe that's why you mentioned it. Critical in the sense that there's really no federal citizen in Nigeria. All of us belong to various states, and we know the important role that the governors play. Many of us focus on the federal budget, but there are 36 plus one budgets outside that of the federal government. And the way it is spent, the way it is expended, will affect individuals and businesses more especially. So the view they have taken in terms of not reducing CIT appears to run contrary to global trends. You will see, for instance, that the global average for corporate income tax is 23.51%, which means that even bringing it to 25% as proposed in the bill is still above the global average, but better than the 30% that we have it. If we look at leading economies in the world, Russia is 20%, America is 21%, the UK and China, 25%. In fact, Singapore is 17%, which shows that there is merit in reducing the CIT rate. If you look at our competitors in Africa, South Africa, I think, is about 27%, Algeria is 26%, Ghana, our neighbor, is 25%, and Egypt, a rising economy, is 22.5%. So we needed to move in the direction of the world and to deliberately incentivize investment and make it easier for existing companies to be able to do business. Like you already mentioned, there are so many factors that are affecting business: infrastructure, policy, insecurity, quite a number. So when you are able to give relief in a way that is structured, in a way that is effective, and in a way that investors will be able to touch, we believe that it's going to yield a lot of gain. And it's one of the significant positive measures that people have seen in this reform. If you ask me, I think many people talk about the boldness of Mr. President. I think the boldest move he has made since he became president is actually allowing this tax reform because it affects everybody. It is one way of the elites who have been known to historically benefit from the economic activities to give back to those who are vulnerable. It is a way of demonstrating that, look, you guys, we know that you operate in a difficult environment. You know that you have been disadvantaged in the scheme of things. This is relief for you, the ones that you can touch. I mean, how will you, for instance, in good conscience, ask somebody who is earning 40,000, 50,000, 60,000, 70,000 to come and pay tax? Which tax? The guy is already poor and deserving of support. So I believe one direct way you can do is to put more money in his hands. And the VAT we are talking about is a consumption tax. So the more people are able to consume, the more the benefits to the states, the more productivity is improved because you have increased capacity. As we speak, manufacturers have about 1.4 trillion of unplanned inventory. That's what they have produced that they are not able to sell. So we need to put more money in the hands of people to be able to make those purchases. And then we'll be able to continue to address the issues. The tax has also affected us in terms of the cost of doing business. You have different tiers of government imposing tax in one form or the other. And there are about 40 bills now in the National Assembly that are targeting the profit of manufacturers and of businesses, not to even talk of the fact that those profits have been downgraded effectively, that many of them are declaring losses, and some of them are even leaving the country because of challenges that they have. So the tax bill is like a lifeline in some form to the manufacturing sector that I represent and to businesses in general. It's been applauded, and I believe that Nigerians deserve that we speedily pass these bills, ensuring that we also have diligent implementation. My colleague there on this program, Prof, has indicated the wide spectrum that this tax reform covers. And I believe that Nigerians should look at it in that light and see the urgency to pass this bill so that we can start to reap the fruit even in the lifespan of this administration. This will be a missed opportunity if we do not implement this tax bill. And the relief that industries, business people are already looking forward to may be lost. So I believe that the tax is positive and that well-meaning Nigerians should focus on maximizing the advantages we have in it and seize the moment and the momentum we have gathered to make it pass.
Indeed.